I will not make this show about Hot Wheels. Welcome back to the Skill Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 60 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you're not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through projects that I'm working on, things that are on the bench, off the bench, on the floor, in the other room, in a box. Sometimes it's none of those things, sometimes it's all of those things. This is a quick one. I am leaving for vacation today. I'm on a plane probably by the time you're watching this. So have a great couple of days. I've got lots of content planned for while I'm away though, so there should not be any sort of gap between me being away and me being back. It should be seamless, as if I haven't even left this room. Anyway, let's get all these Hot Wheels out of the way. It's too many Hot Wheels. Where am I going to put all of these? What's on the floor? Episode 1. I have no more room anywhere else. First thing on the bench this week, the Raw Welt Begriff RWB Porsche, and I can say with much satisfaction that I've actually driven the car on a drift track. Everybody was really nice to me, and they kept saying, "Watch out! There's a really nice Porsche on the track," and they would intentionally avoid me. I am still not very good at drifting. I am getting better over time. But as you can see, it does have the drift wheels on there. It did pretty well. My only kind of big complaint, I didn't drive it with the wing because this thing is resin and very fragile, so tend to just run it like this with the exposed motor, which I always think looks really cool. But the biggest issue, the biggest problem I have is that I didn't use strong enough magnets. So there'd be a lot of times where it would just kind of do this. So I've ordered a proper body mount magnet kit, and that'll be going on the car I'm going to be using more frequently. I am planning on buying a whole new drift chassis. I've been given a lot of great advice from a lot of smarter people than me, and I'm also going to get a different body because I spent so much time on this one. I want to do a drift missile now. I want to do a build that looks like it's been absolutely trashed over and over and over again, and I don't want to ruin this. I really love this body, and I spent so much time on it. It would be a real shame if I busted it or broke it or scratched it in any way. So this will get relegated to shelf queen status. We'll have a new chassis. This is probably going to be a great winter project because snow doesn't go indoors usually. And I'll be able to spend a lot more time on the drift track, which is going to be really fun. So yeah, I love this car. I am really pleased, and I've been making progress. And it feels like eventually I might actually be decent at this. Given enough time and practice, anybody can be good at anything. 10,000 hours, that's all it takes to be an expert. Look it up. Before I forget, Crawlers and Customs sent, I actually picked this up a few weeks ago, and I haven't actually installed it yet because I'll be putting it in the new body. But this is one of these really cool Formula Drift indicators. It shows when you are accelerating, when you are braking, and it does it with all of these addressable RGB LEDs. And it's a very slick system. Ports right into your existing ESC. You don't have to make any changes, and it just works. There's a brake light and all these really funky green and red LEDs, and it's supposed to be pretty amazing. I'll put a link down below if you're interested in getting one of these for yourself. I think it just adds another level of realism to your drift build, and that's something that's very exciting to me. Any guesses on what the new body's going to be? Put a comment down below. You know I love reading through your feedback, and I'll have plenty of time on the plane with Wi-Fi to answer those comments. So I look forward to doing that later. Okay, on to the next thing. All right, next on the bench, we've got this massive FMS FJ40. And this Land Cruiser is my all-time favorite body style. It's fantastic. And FMS absolutely 100% nailed, well, 97% nailed it. It is incredible. It's very large. What's the wheelbase here? It's like 16, almost 16 inches in length. It's a thick boy for sure, but it looks fantastic and it's just superior in every way to everyone before this. Obviously, these are not the wheels and tires it comes with. It comes with those knockoff Hyrax tires and the same wheels that were on the Michigan, which is right down there. In fact, it's the same chassis, transmission, drivetrain, motor, ESC, everything underneath. Light kit, I think, is even the same. Underneath, it's the same. So coils and links, not accurate to a Land Cruiser of this era, but there is a leaf spring kit that I will be ordering and putting on this truck. I have made a few cosmetic changes, nothing serious, but you can see there is the bezel around the windshield and all the rear glass should be rubber. So I've gone ahead and taped all that off, masked it, and airbrushed it to be the proper color. And then just changed the wheels and tires for a more classic look. And there's nothing wrong with the wheels and tires that are included, but they just aren't period correct. Obviously, these aren't either. KMC wasn't around when these were out, but I think they look pretty good, pretty accurate adjacent. These are the Roswells, and I will make sure to put a link down below. And shocker, using RC 4-wheel drive MTRs, still one of my favorite tires, and I think they look very appropriate on this FJ40. Let's spin it around here so you can get a look at the back. One thing to note here right away, these are not the emblems that come with this truck. These are the emblems that come with that truck, and they're massive, way too big for this one. They don't fit properly at all. Luckily, I had these CC hand ones that are a lot more accurate. They're probably a tiny bit too small for this one, but they do look very good on there. Okay, in addition to all of the exterior details, which look amazing, there is a lot of interior stuff that is way beyond what I've seen on any of these FJ40 models that exist. So you get opening tailgate. It's the split tailgate, which I think was a Japan only option. I can't remember exactly. I know that actually I think it's the opening rear doors as in like one solid split, like ambulance style doors. I think that was Japan only. But you get textured foam seats, which I think these actually fold away somehow. I think yeah, I don't remember how this goes. Oh, here we go. There we go. Wait, that's not how this, wait, hang on, here we go. Something's going right. You know what? Don't worry about it. They do articulate though. You can move them around, which is pretty neat. Everything seems pretty solid back there too, which is nice. Opening doors on the side here. I still haven't peeled off all the stickers. This is embarrassing. It's nice that they tape everything closed. And of course, this thing is packaged just like every FMS build before it. And wow, working door handles. I gotta show you that. That's pretty neat. So it's locked position. Then you turn it. And the door's open. Look at that. And can we zoom in on that interior? Yes, we can. Wowee, that looks pretty amazing. Very nice and accurate padded seats again. Or these are actually just the rubber seats, so you can get a driver in there. Steering wheel turns when you turn the steering wheel. It's controlled by a servo and a Y splitter to make that happen. But quite accurate, quite a good looking truck. I love the functioning door handles. I think that alone is a good thing. Now, obviously, the hood opens up. It's pretty tight, which is also good. And underneath the hood, there is the same stuff that you would see on the Michigan. I'll link to that up here so you can get a good look at it. But 1040 ESC, 550 CAN brushed motor, steering servo for steering, and then a steering servo for the steering wheel. Performance-wise, quite heavy, quite bouncy. As you can see, there's a lot of shock movement there. I think adding a stronger shock oil, maybe even changing the spring rate would really help that. I think adding leaf springs would help it more so we'll probably end up doing that. I definitely feel like it does require a bit of weathering. From a details perspective, FMS absolutely nailed it. I think it looks spectacular. I love all of the stuff they did. Like, they really went above and beyond. Even the inside of the doors are accurate. Like, they really, really nailed it. It looks spectacular. I cannot wait to put a driver in there. I cannot wait to weather it. I do have some other plans for this truck. I would like to change the power plant, go to a 2-in-1 sort of brushless setup, and also go leaf spring throughout. I think it's just going to improve the ride quality, which sounds ridiculous, but because of the weight of this truck, it really does need to have a little more firm suspension. And then I think it'll be a real winner. So yeah, stick around. There will be a lot more content on the FMS FJ40. Won't be looking like this for much longer, and I cannot wait to troll all of you with it. One final thing to note. On the back here, one thing to note, there is a hitch on here. Do you think that FMS has got a trailer planned for this scale of vehicle? Because this thing, to be honest with you, I think it's even bigger than the Michigan. And the Michigan is probably bigger than this in real life. These are not big trucks. Anyway, very pleased with this one. Thanks so much to FMS for sending this along. There will be a lot of content on it, like I said. Cannot wait to share with you. It is a good-looking truck that demands a bit more attention. Oh, one final... Sorry, I keep forgetting about this, but I don't know if you can see this easily, but these louvers here in the hood or bonnet, those are real. They actually are functional louvers. I have never seen that on any scale in our hobby before. So the fact that FMS went to that trouble is pretty neat. What did they miss? This windshield's supposed to fold down, and it looks like it does, but I don't think it really does. And there's supposed to be a couple of thingies on the hood here to help it do that. Also, I painted this and added some mesh. Let me see that. There we go. I painted this and added some mesh because that's supposed to be see-through into the engine bay, and it's not. Otherwise, amazing truck. Love it. Can't wait to do more with it. And on that note, it's probably a great place to end this episode because I have a lot of vacation packing to do. So I'm going to get to that. Have a great week. In fact, there won't be an episode of this next week either because I won't be here. Maybe I'll throw up like a quick little short or something to sort of show you where I'm at. Or maybe there won't be. Maybe I'll just be on vacation. That would be nice. All right, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again, not next week, but soon.